What's up YouTube? Sean from Dive Ass Turkeys here, finally with another video for you guys. I know it's been a while since any of us has had uploaded anything to our channel, but we've been busy with finals and work and stuff, so finally got a little bit of time during finals week to bring you guys something. It's missing 2 cards, but they're in the mail right now, so I figured might as well do the profile while I have time and I remember, so let's get right into it. This is my Battlin Boxer deck profile. This is actually the first serious deck I built when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. It's really fun. I like it a lot. I myself am a boxer, so I figured I have to make this deck. So let's get right into it. Start off with your standard boxer engine, 3 Battlin Boxer switch hitters. I'll explain the card effects for those of you who don't know. When he's normal summoned, you can special summon a Battlin Boxer monster in your graveyard, but then for the rest of the turn you cannot special summon any more monsters except for Battlin Boxers. So yeah, he's your instant XYZ for your instant XYZ card for your main XYZ. Next, to go along with him, is Battlin Boxer Glassjaw. Glassjaw is awesome. When he's targeted for an attack, you can destroy him, and then when he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one monster except himself and return that card to your hand. So essentially, when you make your XYZ, you'll loop switch hitter and Glassjaw. So what you'll do is you'll detach your switch hitter first, and then when you need to detach again, you'll detach your Glassjaw and get your switch hitter back, and then next turn make another Battlin Boxer XYZ. So that's exactly how that works. Then you have 3 Battlin Boxer headgeared. He's essentially your foolish burial for the deck, except he only buries Battlin Boxers from the deck, and once per turn he can't be destroyed by battle while he's in attack position. Next, you run 2 Battlin Boxer Sparrers. You control a Battlin Boxer monster, you can special summon them from your hand. You can't conduct your battle phase after you use that, but there's a neat trick with them. You just special summon them in main phase 2, and after you've conducted your battle phase, and it still works perfectly fine. So that's how you play your Sparrer. And then we have 2 Battlin Boxer Veils. I know a lot of people don't like to run this card. I like it. It's just some added protection for when you have those very, very rare shitty hands in this deck. But what he does is when you take battle damage, you can special summon him from your hand, and then you gain life points equal to the damage you took. So he's just another setup card for your next turn. An extra level 4 if you need it. Next we have 2 Battlin Boxer Counter Punches. He's a pseudo honest for the deck. You can you banish him from your hand or your graveyard, and during a damage calculation, your Battlin Boxer monster will gain 1,000 attack. So he's pretty good. That rounds up the Battlin Boxer monsters. There are 15 boxers in this deck. Next, for the non-boxers, we have 2 Mass Chameleon. Mass Chameleon works really well in tandem with Battlin Boxer Glassjaw because Glassjaw has 0 defense, as you can see there. So he lets you go for level 8 synchros very easily. And then also to go along with your Mass Chameleon is 2 extra targets. These are the 2 cards that I don't have yet for the deck that are in the mail. 2 Photon Thrashers. If you don't know what Photon Thrasher is, he's essentially Cyber Dragon but level 4. And he can only be special summoned. He's got 2100 attack, 0 defense, so that's why he's another target for Mass Chameleon. And then the last non-boxer is Blaster. There are only 4 non-fire monsters in this deck, or in the main deck, so Blaster is really good. You can ditch any of your boxers. Anything from a Counter Punch or a Glassjaw would probably be best to ditch with him. And yeah, popping stuff is always good. And then if you really do need to push for late game, I guess you can banish out 2 boxers to special summon them. So he's really good. That's 20 monsters. Next we have spells. Start with 3 Reinforcement of the Army. It's at 3, run it at 3. All but 3 of the monsters in the deck are warriors, so yeah, he makes your deck 37 cards. So yeah, run 3 Rhoda. You're bad if you don't. Next we have 2 Battlin Boxer Spirits. Battlin Boxer Spirits is kind of like a Monster Reborn for the deck, but with cost. What you do is you send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, target a Battlin boxer in your Battlin boxer monster in your graveyard, and special summon that target in face-up defense position, and you can only activate this once per turn. So this card's really good. Like I said in my zombie deck profile and my vampire deck profile, I don't like to run Lavalval Chain in my deck because, 1, because I don't have one, 2, I don't have the money, and 3, because it isn't needed. This deck has 4 Foolish Burials with the 3 headgears and Foolish Burial itself, so I don't think you need it, but the second effect of Lavalval Chain actually does work really well with this card. If you want to stack a Glassjaw on top of your deck, send it to your graveyard, get a card back, this card becomes a 1-for-1, so it's actually really good with Lavalval Chain. I think it's a bit lengthy to have to set up with that, so I prefer not to do it, but if you want to do it, power to you. If you have Lavalval Chain, go ahead. Or if you want to spend the money on one, go ahead, but I don't think you need one. This card by itself is just good, so yeah, run it at 2. 3 is too much, you don't want to see it early. And then for the other spells, run 2 Kaiser Coliseum. This card is awesome with your main XYZ card. If you don't know what Kaiser Coliseum does, it's a really old card actually. And what it says is, as long as there's one, as long as you control one monster, at least one monster, your opponent can't control more monsters than you control. So if you only control one monster, your opponent can only control one monster. But it doesn't work like, oh, they already controlled 2, you summon 1, and then play this, they have to get rid of 1. No, that's not how it works. It's, you have to have the monsters on the field already. So if they have 2 on the field already when you play this, they're unaffected. But the thing is, after they have less than you, or they have the same amount, they can't summon anymore without getting rid of this. So it's a pretty awesome card, and you'll see why it gets even better with the main XYZ. Next, we have 2 Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance is great, protects your stuff, and Damage Step is also very good. 2 MST. You're not really too worried about back row unless it's Deep Prison, so 2 MST is really what you only need. Forbidden Lance also will stop Deep Prison if you actually have to use it on your monsters. So 2 MST is good. If you want the third, you can slide it in. And then for the last of the spells, we have a Dark Hole and a Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, just because Dark Hole works really well in this deck with your main XYZ, and field clearing is still pretty good. Even though there's a lot of stuff that replaces itself or can't be destroyed by card effect, Dark Hole is still pretty good. I like running it. And then for the traps, it's a very small trap lineup actually compared to my other decks. Only 7. I prefer to run upwards of I prefer to run at least 8 traps. That's like my usual, but yeah, 7's a good number for this because the deck it protects itself pretty well. So we're gonna start off with the big 3 right now with Solemn, Compulsive, Bottomless. Self-explanatory, really. So play stoppers, and then 2 Depriz. If you can't attack over it, the best thing to do is banish it, essentially. So, yeah, 2 Deep Prison. And then, kind of deviating from my usual, I run 2 Breakthrough Skills instead of the 2 Fiendish Chains. Like I said, I really do like to stop attacks when I'm negating the effects, so that's why I run the Fiendish Chains, usually, in my decks. But in this deck, like I said, you're not really too worried about your shit getting destroyed, so Breakthrough Skill actually works better, and that banishing from the graveyard effect is really good. Say if they have a window on board, you really want to get rid of that guy's effect during your turn. So yeah, 2 Breakthrough Skill. Also, on another note, in all of my deck profiles, if you see a Fiendish Chains instead of Breakthrough Skills, or vice versa, they are all interchangeable, so just keeping that as a side note. And now on to the extra deck. I'm going to start off with your main XYZ, the guy I've been talking about the entire time. Battlin Boxer Lead Yoke. You run 3 of him. He is awesome. He's just a beast. People don't like him, especially when you have Kaiser Coliseum out, and I will tell you why. He's a 2200 rank 4 with 2000 defense. He takes 2 level 4 Battlin Boxers to XYZ, and his effect is when himself or another Battlin Boxer monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach an XYZ material from this card instead of destroying one of those monsters, and then when the XYZ material is detached, he gains 800 attack. So now you can see why he's a pain in the ass with Kaiser Coliseum. So you throw him out there with Kaiser Coliseum on the field, and what happens is your opponent has to beat a 2200 attacker that gets stronger, that cannot be destroyed by card effects, with one monster. And if they do get over him, or if they do attack over him, he's still there next turn, but with 3000 attack. So he's just such a pain in the ass, and your opponent has to waste resources to get rid of him. So yeah, he's pretty awesome. He's just an annoying card. And another note about this card, when Seth, the Jive Ass Turkey, who made his Back Fan of Feast deck profile on our channel, when he started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again, all of his decks were based around getting rid of Lead Yoke here. So it's pretty funny. They were. Now he just beats my ass really easily, but he's still a really good card. Next we have one Blade Armor Ninja. Most of the shit you run is warriors, so he can attack twice at 2200. Next, Excalibur. Same thing as Blade Armor Ninja, but he attacks once at 4000. Then some much generic other rank 4 stuff that helps the deck. One, King of the Feral Imps. You run 2 Masked Chameleon, so you want to be able to get the second one if you need it to your hand really easily. So he works out really well. One, Castell. If you're running a deck with heavy and rank 4s, run him. It's really good. Next, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. Nuking the field is always fun. One, Heartland Draco. Heartland Draco in this is actually a lot better in this deck than you would think. If you get stuck with a Kaiser Coliseum on the field and nothing else, just summon him. He can't be attacked, and you can attack your opponent directly with him. So he's a lot better than he appears. One, Rhapsody and Berserk. Banish it out of your opponent's graveyard, and yeah, his second effect actually gets a lot more use because you can equip him to Lead Yoke. And then lastly, one, Battlin Boxer Star Cestus. You don't need this card in here. I run it because I really like to keep the essence of a deck, as I like to say, and I figured it wouldn't be a boxer deck unless you're running the main boxer, which is him. You rarely ever summon him, but if you want to, you could. He's actually a really good card, but he requires 3 level 4s, so it's a bit harder to do than all the other cards in the deck. So that rounds up the XYZs. And now on to the Synchros. Start out with one Colossal Fighter. He's actually a lot better than he looks in this deck. So most of the stuff you have is warriors, remember, so he can get pretty big with the warriors and then just come right back with the same amount of attack. Crimson Blader, Fire Warrior, slows your opponent down. Just a great card in general. One Stardust Dragon, just generals, level 8s, and then one Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon is actually extremely good in this deck. Same thing like with my zombie deck. Target fields, target a card on the field, and then keep your card. You can use the same thing with Lead Yoke. To try to destroy Lead Yoke, detach, he goes up to 3000, and then destroy their card for free, essentially. If you were to take out something in the extra deck, I guess you could take this out and then put in another level 8 Synchro or a different XYZ if you want, like an On an Arc. It's up to you. I just like this card. I think he looks cool. That's it for the deck. I have nothing else to really say about it. It's really fun. I haven't played it against like any of the current meta decks, really. It's almost guaranteed to get shit on by a lot of the stuff, especially with the new Burning Abyss cards coming out, and yeah, the new Burning Abyss cards will just essentially just shit on this card, on this deck, so it's up to you if you want to run it. Like, I love it. It's really fun, and I actually, like, when I first built this deck, it was ass. Like, bad ass, not good. And, I ran it with Magnum Shields and Rank Up Magic. If you don't know what Magnum Shield does, it's a card that adds the defense of your monster to the attack. So, essentially, I would summon a Lead Yoke and then put Magnum Shield on it, and he'd be a 4200 attacker just like that. And that was just really fun to do, so it's up to you how you want to run it. If you want to see that more fun version that I had built, just let me know in the comments, and I'll put up another profile with all those cards. Personally, I like that one much more, even though it sucks ass. It's really fun. As usual, I don't have a side deck built. That's all dependent on where you are and your locals and whatnot. But I will give you One tip, if you do want to side something in, this is very like atypical of a boxer deck, but I actually like this card as a side in. One Brushfire Knight. If you don't know what Brushfire Knight does, here, let this clear up so you can read the effect, and I'll read it to you. When a fire monster is destroyed and sent to your graveyard, send a fire monster from your deck to the graveyard, and when he's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, send another fire monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use one of his effects per turn, and only once that turn. But it's good if your opponent if you notice your opponent's carelessly attacking into your shit, just set him. They'll probably think it's a counter punch or something, and attack into it, and you get a free burial. It's a good card to have. I really like it. It's up to you if you want to run or not. I liked it for a long time, so let me know what you guys think. So yeah, that's Deck Profile, guys. Peace out.